Hey friends out there, Rob here. Today I want to talk about the Panasonic X2000 or 2100 or 1600 or this series of camera, whether it's with the top handle or without. The video is primarily going to be focused on the internal microphones. This comes from a discussion, not even a very polite one, that I've been having with someone that continuously spams my videos specific to this camera, saying that I'm participating in some kind of global conspiracy by covering up the fact that the preamps are terrible and there's a lot of white noise on this camera. They have not just spammed my videos, but in trying to research a little bit of this and answer the question more, I find that on all the videos that I have been able to look up and the videos that they have provided links to, they all show his comments talking about how this is a terrible camera. Okay, the reason that I bring this up isn't because I care whether or not he thinks it's a terrible camera or not. I care whether or not you, the viewer, understands audio. And this person has a fundamental lack of understanding audio principles, and that is leading to the issue that they're having. Also, if you don't understand audio principles, I'm pointing at you, then you may be of the same mindset. You might find yourself in a situation where you can't get the result that you need. The reality is I want you to get the result you need, which is a good something for your client, a good product for your client, but you can't get that if you listen to idiots that say the things this person has said, and we will talk about them today. Number one, the comments start with over 15 spam posts and then a back and forth plus several different video links going to a video about this camcorder showing the different use case scenarios of this camcorder with different microphones plugged in. I guess I'll leave that in the comments down below so that you can see what I'm talking about. In the proof, I'm using bunny ears for quotes video, you see that the person making the video and the host of that video, who made a fine video just about the general noise of the camera by using different wireless microphones. And don't forget, when we talk about a wireless microphone, we're not just talking about one unit, and that's the biggest problem. A wireless microphone has a receiver and a transmitter. So the receiver gets plugged into the camcorder via 3.5 millimeter input jack, and notice where it says output. Notice how I just turned the output up, and now I'm turning it down. Wow, well that's just the volume of the output. I can also come in here to the mic settings and check this. I can actually change the gain of the microphone. That's the sensitivity. Well, when we ignore those two different concepts, volume versus sensitivity, gain versus loudness, and when we ignore different things like signal to noise processing, we can turn on our different EQ, we can record in several different ways. Here we've got an EQ setting in this microphone. When we turn these things on and off, right, we end up changing the signal before it even gets to the camera, which means we can take a source that's plugged into the 3.5 millimeter input jack right back here, and when you plug this into that, use the camera connection, we can send it a signal that is already balanced for how we want, because the transmitter is processing the signal from the source and sending that to the camcorder. And when we do that, we'll find that we get some kind of, you see I'm tapping right there. We can then adjust these. But look, these are just at noon. My settings for the camcorder are at noon, which means that, yay, happy, hooray, we're getting good signals. We're right around peaking around -12 right about here, and then we're down around -16 to -20 for our regular speaking levels. There's no noise in this, and it's going to sound great. But watch what happens if we boost the output. Oh man, check that out. Now the output is up too high, and look what's happening to our levels. You see, the video that the person is using for proof was made by a gentleman discussing this camcorder and making no claims other than just to show this mic or that mic plugged into it, and then at the end they show the internal microphones. Well, that does you no good, because they never show the transmitter. They're using things like the Rode Wireless Mic Go. They use things like the Sennheiser or the Shure EDW mics, or whichever ones those are, and they never show the input here. So of course, the microphone plugged straight in can sound great as compared to the on-camera microphones, these right here, because it's already got some audio processing. It's already been possibly set to unity gain, and if you just use these types of microphones and transmission systems on their own, they do a very good job of just sounding good right out of the box. That's part of the problem. Today, I hope to illustrate how to get around that stupidity, change your thinking, and create and truly understand the audio. Let's look back at the claim. The claim that's being raised is, what about the white noise when connecting external microphones via the 3.5mm headphone jack? Okay. The white noise that he's talking about, will happen to anyone when you boost the sensitivity of a microphone, right? Then you also boost the noise floor. A microphone has a specific sensitivity range where it operates, and if you are far away from your subject, then it's going to have to work harder for you to hear your subject, meaning the sensitivity will need to be turned up. And when you turn the sensitivity up, you also turn up the noise floor, thereby hearing noise. Okay, this is normal. Currently, you have been listening to me using a DJI mic connected to my Pocket Go 2, or whatever this one is here. Okay, watch what happens. It's by my neck right now. Okay, there you go. Look at where it is. It's way over here now. Did you hear a change in the audio? Why was it just a moment ago that it sounded great, but now, do you hear a little hiss? Let's move it further away. What's it sound like over there? What about way over here? I'm putting it way over here. It's an omnidirectional mic. It should be fine. How does that sound? I have not changed any of the noise levels. What I'm trying to demonstrate to you right now is that that collection of sound requires microphone placement be considered first, and then unity gain or microphone sensitivity. I'm going to go ahead and boost the signal now. I'm doing it, and we're boosting the signal so that you can hear my voice better, but I'm not processing the audio any other way. Do you hear the noise? Yes, that's because I had to boost the signal in order for you to hear my voice as clearly as you were a moment ago. You're now hearing noise. We don't like that noise. So if I return back to the regular processing for this and turn the boost down, now you can't hear me well enough. Why? It's very simple. This microphone is set up to be used as a lavalier or connection directly close to my source, which is my pie hole. I'm talking. So watch this. I'm going to come back and put it back where it was. How about now? Do I sound better now? Of course I do, because the microphone is set for the proximity of the source, meaning my voice. I set the microphone in order to get the best sound to my voice. Now there's no noise. Listen. It sounds great. All we did was show that proximity and gain are two of the very important things, the most fundamental to setting microphone sensitivity. Okay. That's directly relatable to what he's talking about here. Another comment that we get is that the test video that he sent, the one linked in the comments below, as proof, doesn't show, like we talked about earlier, the gain setting used to set the microphone up. This is because it's a powered system that he's talking about. All those systems use power, so they boost the signal in order to do the processing that it needs in order to send the signal from the receiver to whatever collector it's going to. In this case, it would be the camcorder. So no, it's useless for diagnostic purposes, other than the fact to show that different microphones plugged in to the 3.5mm headphone jack act differently than the onboard microphone, which, duh, they all act differently. Spoiler alert, when it comes to onboard microphones, no one has ever claimed that the onboard microphone is better than an external microphone for the reasons I just demonstrated. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and record some audio straight from the on-camera microphones, and you see me press record. So this is audio test number one, right? We see that. Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Currently, the microphones that are being used are the on-camera Panasonic X15 or 1600, 2000, whichever one, 2100, set to input left and right on the audio handle, the XLR handle. And they are both set to noon. What you need to know about the audio handle for this series of camcorders is that it delineates a total of 42 decibels of gain. At 0, noon, it is not boosting or cutting the signal of any of the capturing microphones. They are operating at unity. 0 is unity. The X1500, 1600, 2000, 2100, 1200, when the handle is attached, all have the ability to cut 30 decibels of gain between the leftmost point to the middle point. The noon position is a cut of up to minus 30 decibels. And then we can boost up to 12 decibels from noon at 0 to plus 12 at the furthermost clockwise point. This means that we've got a cut of 30 decibels and a boost of 12 decibels at our disposal. Let's show you what that sounds like. Here's room tone at 0 decibels. Now here's room tone at minus 30 decibels. Now here's room tone at plus 12 decibels. And now we're back to normal. What I've attempted to demonstrate for you there is the difference in how gain, boost, or cut affects microphone sensitivity. For those that don't know, you guys watching this, maybe some of you do know, but definitely for those that don't know, a microphone system is designed to work best at unity gain. What is unity? 0 decibels. This is a professional industry standard. When we think about a potentiometer like this right here, these little pots, these little variable resistors, in this case, for this particular type of fader, that's all it is, a gain boost, a knob, these are providing unity gain at the 12 o'clock position with a cut of minus 30 and a boost of plus 12. This means that for these microphones, their best organic position will be at noon. However, if we need to boost like the video showed, then you are going to hear additional noise because you're boosting the noise floor by 12 decibels as much as the collected sound of the room. You're going to hear noise. The test also showed a person speaking at their own distance of 3 feet or 1 meter, as they said at the beginning of the test, which means there's going to be a lot of echo in this room because this is an omnidirectional microphone. They're picking up sound in 180 degrees around and about 240, 300 degrees above. That's the way that they work. There's this bubble, which means they're going to pick up reflections in room tone from everywhere. So when you boost the signal and step back 3 feet, you get noise and reflections from the room because the microphone is further away from the voice. Here you go. Just by me moving my clip-on microphone further away from my mouth and not doing anything else to the signal, you now hear additional reflections. You hear reverberations. You hear different EQ dynamics, all because it's further away. I hope what I have done is demonstrated the first principle, that you need both mic placement as well as proper gain staging. The next thing that's claimed is that they know that the problem exists on the 2024 and 2020 models because they bought them and returned them. And they returned them because of this problem with the mic jack, specific to the back. Well, earlier, this is ridiculous. Earlier, we saw that you could not only affect the signal going into the mic jack by using your onboard volume and gain setting for your microphone system that you're using, but you could also further attenuate the signal internally using the audio menu. When we use the audio menu, we have handle input settings, which we can talk about those later. I don't know that they'll be important specific to this. But we also see that mic setting, and it's grayed out. Why can't I get to it? The user claims that you cannot change the mic setting of the 3.5 inch head point of 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on the back, or from the internal mics on this camera. This is ridiculous. When the handle is attached, the mic settings are bypassed from the software menu so that you can access the physical controls more easily. Which means if you weren't using the top handle and wanted to adjust those settings, take a wild guess before I put it. What do you think is going to happen to those audio settings? Do you think the mic setting will be available? Well, of course it is, because now the only way to change the microphone setting is by changing it in the software menu. I've got to bring this down further. They also say that when they connect their camcorder to a microphone jack or use the internal mics, that there is no way to set the level because it's always at 0 decibels. Do you see that one camera is at one channel currently is at minus 12 decibels? Let's just go and see. How far down can it go? I can literally set this all the way down, and it's difficult for me to go here, so just take my word for it. I guess I'll keep doing it this way. I have now set to minus 30 decibels on channel 1. And channel 2, which is the right mic, I'm going to now set to plus 12 decibels. It's max. So we see that the internal microphones also have a max and min range of minus 30 to plus 12. That 42 decibel spread is normal because that's the operating specifications for this camcorder, and all of them in this series. But you might say, wait, Rob, what if we aren't using the internal mics? What if we're just using an external lavalier microphone? This is the most bass we can get. It's providing its own power through the socket right here. It will draw whatever it needs. We plug it in. Before I turn it around, do you think we can no longer adjust the microphone settings now? Do you think Panasonic would do that? Seems kind of strange that now, without the handle connected and using the internal or using the external microphone jack, doesn't it seem strange that the user would say you can't adjust the settings when we are still able to adjust all of the settings? Look at this. You see it adjusting now. I'm going to change it back to something normal, like 0. The user says that they have only ever set these channels to 0. Well, that's because they've never actually attempted to set it. They're just talking. And why? Why wouldn't they have figured this out? Reading from their comment again, I immediately returned this because of the issue. In each event, the user claiming knowledge has said that they returned it because they couldn't set the gain. All because they didn't know how to use the gain. This is important because you, watching this video, likely need this information in order to do a good job at whatever it is you do. I primarily focus on live streaming with YOLO Box, my favorite live streaming system, and I have to do that on location, which means I better be good at what I'm doing. So if I don't know how to set these basic settings, I provide a substandard service for my clients and risk being sued or having to give money back and things like that. If you are in a position where you're charging clients and people pay you and you don't know these things, you are wrong. Simply put, if you just put it on auto and you're not able to do or understand what I'm talking about right now, you are doing a disservice to your clients. And you could be sued if you are capturing moments that are important for some reason, and it's just completely unprofessional. And you don't need to be doing this job if that's your attitude. Most people that are watching this video are going to see this and be very familiar, at least somewhat familiar with this. And when they realize there's a blind spot in their professional education, you'll use videos like this to learn more so that you're prepared for these types of statements or these types of challenges when you come on scene. The biggest problem that the original poster actually has is that they want to make better videos for their YouTube channel. And I completely support that. They seem to make some kind of videos about sneakers and have a couple 100,000 subscribers or something. Well, that's great. But then they claim that this camera won't work, but their other camera works better. Well, there's no proof to that other than the fact that different devices have different professional standards, different operating procedures. The device that he was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I'll quote it up here, was, here it is. When I connect these microphones, this and this type, lavaliers and plug-in style microphones, when I connect these microphones to my old Panasonic W850 camera, the sound is crystalline clear. Okay. Why is it crystalline clear? Well, according to him, it's crystalline clear, but also that's a completely different camera. It's got different preamps. It's a very consumer level, not even nearing prosumer. It's a very cheap camcorder, right, to be quite honest with you. And it's already boosting the signal quite a bit. So they've probably got noise reduction and different things built into that camera to make it sound better. So when you use these right here, lavaliers or additional microphones, you have less work to do. In any event, that doesn't really matter because it's not the same device. Again, this device comes with an XLR handle. You can put in line level XLR inputs or mic level XLR inputs, and it provides 48 volts of phantom power. Not only that, you have to choose the different type of audio setting you have. Specifically, are we at minus 60, minus 50, or minus 40 decibels of your standard input for your mic? What about your line level? Is the line level a 0 decibel or plus 4 decibels? On the newer units, known as the 1600 and the 2100, you even have a different headroom position right here. You can do minus 20, minus 18, or minus 12 decibels of headroom. That allows you to change where this small marker is to account for different broadcast standards. Wow. The little W850 isn't doing any of that. He's also got years of experience using the W850. I'm sure when he first got it, it wasn't perfect, crystalline clear. No, it took him time to figure out what was happening. According to his own words, he immediately returned the cameras he purchased in 2020, and then when he attempted again in 2024, which would have been the X1500 or the X1600. 2020, 1500, 1600 is in 2024. All of these things lead to a lack of understanding of basic audio principles. And I don't want you to have that. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send me a cup of coffee or a case of beer over through PayPal. Use my Amazon links if you want to get one of these. And I answer subscriber questions. And I guess I also answer the questions of people I think are fools when they spam my comments 15 times. I want to thank you so much for watching and remind you I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye for now.